Oh God, I've got to look at the lens, not at myself. In this video, I wanted to talk about what I'm going to do differently in this next phase of my journey. For the last almost a year, I've been doing the 12 startups in 12 months challenge, made famous by Peter Levels, the founder of Nomad List. And that's essentially a challenge where you commit to shipping a new product every month, roughly. I made it to 7 products. So I did 7 products in 7 months, and then I decided to focus on one of them. And then I focused on that product for about sort of 4 months until I ultimately decided to shut it down. And the shutdown date was today. So here we are. The corpse of my previous startup is barely even cold, and I'm starting a new one. I wanted to talk about what I'm going to do next. I'm not starting all over again. I'm not going to start back at startup number 1, and I'm not going to do 12 startups either. I've kind of identified 3 things that I'm really going to do differently this time around. Number 1, I'm going to be 100% open this time. So that means all of my revenue stats and my user kind of registration stats will all be public and all be as live as possible. So you'll notice on the mojosas.com website right now, all the numbers are reading 0. That's because there's no customers right now. The revenue numbers are verified by Stripe. So I've plugged into the Indie Hackers website where they've got a little Stripe widget, which essentially acts as kind of a third-party verification. And I'm going to be doing video logs, vlogs, video logs. I don't know what you call it these days, but I'm going to record some videos along the way, answer questions. So that's that. Number 1 is full-on open startup, and that's already started. You can see it on the site itself, even though it's not very exciting right now because obviously everything is 0. Number 2. Well, what was number 2? Shit. Oh. Number 2 is to have a goal. So I think that was one of my mistakes the first time around when I did the 12 Startup Challenge, is I never really had a kind of concrete goal. If you remember, I was just coming off the back of a corporate role where I didn't do any development work. I didn't do any sort of hands-on coding or anything like that. And my purpose, it was a bit, my purpose with the 12 Startup Challenge was a bit wishy-washy, to be honest. I said to myself, I want to practice shipping products again. Which I think, okay, maybe that's a good goal to have for the first 1 or 2, but after that, I probably should have set some sort of actual, concrete, measurable goal. So that's what I'm going to do this time around, is I'm setting a goal of $100,000 US annual recurring revenue. That is the goal that I want to reach through the release of maybe 1 or 2 SaaS products that I'm going to be launching. Number 3, and probably the most important, is I'm kind of switching gear in terms of what types of products I'm going to be working on. Unlike before, where, in my 12 Startups Challenge, if you look at the products that I launched, they're all a bit all over the place. They're experimenting with different kind of spaces, different scope, different targets, which I think was okay in the context of that challenge for what I wanted to get out of that challenge. Shipping products again. I think that was okay. Experiment, go crazy. Target this group, target that group, small product, big product. Now I think I need to focus a bit more, and I need to focus on the right things. So what I'm planning to do is go a lot more niche. So I've been reading a bit more and kind of following these different people, and I agree. I think there are problems and opportunities that, as an indie hacker, it's not wise to pursue. Let's put it that way. It's a free world, and you're more than welcome to pursue them. And I'm sure actually some of you will have great success at pursuing some of these kind of larger, more kind of VC style opportunities. But for the rest of us, going niche sounds like a better idea. I'm starting to see a lot more people kind of thinking a similar way. And even just this morning, I was reading on Justin Jackson's Twitter. By the way, he's got a very satisfying name to say, Justin Jackson. Justin Jackson. Is that your real name? That's a cool name. But essentially, he was saying that, or he was quoting the founder of Slack. What I found interesting was that the founder was essentially saying that they're not in the business of selling software. Software is something that people buy when they know that they have kind of a discrete problem and they need it fixed, and then they buy some software to fix that problem. What people like Justin and now myself are saying is actually that is exactly what you should be working on as an indie developer. If you're an indie developer, you should be making software, just things that solve problems that people already know they have. That's the sweet spot. So those are the three things that I'm going to do differently this time. I really hope that you'll follow along and subscribe, add your email address down below, and you'll get to watch this all play out and either see me, kind of triumphantly succeed or spectacularly fail now in a much more public fashion. I wanted to try and keep this video short, so I'll end it there. In the next video, I'll answer any questions that you guys might have if you want to DM me, or there's a bunch of kind of recurring questions that come up that I'm going to address in the next video. Good questions that people are curious about. So I'll do that in the next video. All right, bye for now.